What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bunk Buddy Theories. I am your host, or one of the hosts. I'm one half of the host. Well, how do we say this? I'm
Two,
the I'm the one I'm the one host, Paul.
one of two hosts,
There, yeah, one of two hosts. We
and
can
I'm
go with that. Yeah, we can go
James.
with that.
I'm James, the other hosts. Two of
Awesome.
two.
And this podcast is sponsored by who sponsored us today? Oh yeah, Disneyland. Where
No.
it's the happiest place on earth, but not for the Jews.
Oh my God.
No, that's not how the slogan goes. Did they change it or
Well,
something?
I think it's just the happiest place on earth. Then that's it. I don't think they put the Jews in there. Not in the last couple years.
Well, I could have sworn back then that was the slogan, but whatever. You know,
Oh my
change with that. They didn't
gosh.
even put out a tweet that we're going to change the slogan. That's how it is, Disney. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. But
uh,
remember, it wasn't a Family Guy. They referenced that.
yeah.
Comes out of the
Rip.
crowd. Who was it? Walt Disney comes out of the cryo chamber. He's like, "Are there still Jews around?" Like, "Yes, sir." Like, "Put me back in."
Yeah. I don't know
Oh
why. I
man,
mean, he was a Jew himself.
was he?
Yeah.
Hmm. But is that fucking true about his head being frozen or his body being frozen or some shit like that underneath
Yeah.
that castle?
Yeah. I've heard about. Yeah. I mean, from what I've heard, it's as real as it is.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Because
Cryogenically
you're met.
freeze him so they can bring him back to life in the future and stuff.
But what future?
Well, like I don't know, somehow they cure aging or illness or whatever, and then they can, or they come with the technology to revive somebody who's been frozen, because I don't even think they have that yet.
Yeah.
So, and then,
Damn. So you free. Let's say like right now, I were to freeze you. You just die. That's it.
yeah,
That's how that shit works. You just
yeah,
die.
yeah. There's no blood going pumping through your veins. There's no oxygen getting to your brain. I mean, you die. You freeze to death and you die. But I mean, the whole
So,
cryogenics thing is that supposedly we'll have the technology to freeze somebody, transport them somewhere for an extended period of time, and then unfreeze them, and they'll be perfectly fine.
huh? But what would prevent them from dying, though? There has to be like some kind of.
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of the weird catch 22 with it because you freeze yourselves in the hopes that somebody in the future will figure out how to unfreeze you.
Uh,
Yeah.
Damn. So how would that body look like in ice? You think it still decomposes under cold
N-
temperatures?
no. You ever watch that movie Alive?
Which
Where
one
they,
was that one?
I think
The
it's like
plane
where they,
crashes in the mountain.
yeah, the soccer team, the plane crashes in the mountain, and they survive by eating
Oh yeah,
their
yeah. Their
passengers and
friend's
stuff.
ass.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Did you also hear about those secret rooms in Disneyland?
I haven't heard about the secret rooms. I know they have like weird underground tunnels and they've got like
Well, yeah,
secret
they got that,
traps and stuff like that, but I haven't heard anything extra than that.
dude. What is that town called? The New Orleans town? It's just called New Orleans, right? That's what they called it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next to the no, yeah, I think it's next door to the haunted mansion. There's a fucking house. Oh no, it's Pirates of the Caribbean. My bad. There's this fucking like, you know how like they build like the town, they build the prop houses and stuff like that. Well, in one of those fucking houses, he had an office in him, and I think people pay a certain amount of money to go in there and look at it. And he had like a fucking talking crow and everything too. It was fucking weird. I don't know if you ever heard of that room.
No, I hadn't heard about that.
Dude, there's pictures of this dude sitting there in his office, and when like instead of him having a regular phone in his office, he had that crow as a phone. So when somebody ever called him, the crow would talk, and he would talk back to the crow.
Oh, funky.
Weird, right? And then
Yeah.
he had a bunch of spots like that. And I don't know if you knew this, but you can rent out that fucking castle, Sleeping
Well,
Beauty's castle.
yeah, I mean, I've I've heard you could, but even if you do, it's like what is it like 20,000 something dollars a night or something?
Yeah.
But it's only actually reserved for like the most elite of elite people. So let's say
Mm.
even if you are like a millionaire and you're like, hey, I want to spend a night in Cinderella's castle, they'll just give you the cold shoulder. They won't even know what you're talking about. But
So you got to
if
have
you're
connections. It's only for people who knows people. Then.
yeah, like if you're old money and you show up and you're like, yeah, I'd like to get that Cinderella room, they're like, oh yes, sir, come this way right away, sir.
Damn. Because I've seen pictures of that room. It looks really nice, actually.
I don't know if I ever have. I mean, I assume it would be. It's $20,000 a night.
Yeah, it better be shit. But yeah, dude, he has a bunch of fucking weird little. I guess you can call them like Easter eggs, but they're all over that. They're all over that park, man. He has and then there's also another room you can rent out to eat from a restaurant there. It's like a dining room, but it's a special dining room. I don't know why people would pay absurd money to sit in there and eat, but fuck it, you know.
Is that like in
Even
the
has
middle
a
of a ride or something?
no. It's I want to say this is also next door to Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm not 100% sure, but it has a balcony. And me, going in the past when I took my daughter when she was like what 2 years old, we were walking around and I was showing Zoe the little rides they had going on there, and I look up and there's these people just having beers, hanging out on the balcony of this random ass little prop house, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I think that's one of the fucking hidden rooms that you can rent out.
Huh.
And sure enough, like some of these doors have like numbers on them. Like if you go to like downtown Main Street, if you look at one of these doors next to a souvenir shop, it has like the number I think 11 or 14 or something weird shit like that. And these are like little hidden cubby holes that people can hang out in. But like you said, you have to be like the elite of the elites to fucking go in there.
Yeah.
So I was just tripping that they have shit like that at Disneyland.
Yeah, I used to know a guy who worked there, and he did maintenance and stuff like that, and he's the one
Yeah.
that told me about like all the weird little trap doors because they don't want people to see messes and stuff like that in Disneyland. Like
Yeah.
if a kid like throws up, like once he throws up, like you don't see it anymore, like it's gone in like a flash. And so from what he told me was however fast they can get there to clean it up or whatever the deal is, they get there, they clean it up as fast as possible, make everything look perfect, and then there's
Yeah.
usually some kind of like a hidden like passageway that they can go to, like it's either like in one of the buildings or on one of the rides or in one of the restaurants, and they
What the
just go
fuck?
in there. Yeah, and they just because it's like they don't want people to see them. Like if people
Yeah.
are cleaning up a mess, people are gonna like, oh my gosh, there's a mess right there. What is that? Oh, it's gross. But
Yeah.
if you clean up as fast as possible and you just bug out and like no one like nobody just sees you, like nobody recognizes you, no one sees you at all, and and then there's like I said, there's like passageways. I think under Disneyland, and there's like tunnels and stuff, and that's where like you'll notice sometimes the even the Disney characters will just like pop out of a room all of a sudden, and
Yeah, that's
it's
because they're going through
because
those tunnels, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
I don't disbelieve that there's probably like hidden rooms that if you got the right money and right connections, you can probably get into. I mean, I don't know.
yeah.
It'd be dumb not to. I think a little bit.
Holy shit, man. That's crazy, dude. That like he really thought all that out. He built that fucking park himself, right? Is that what how that story goes? Like
I
he
think
was
he
there since day one?
Yeah, he designed the park from day one. I don't know about all the weird tunnels and things like that. I don't know if that was like in the original like blueprints or is that something they did later on.
You think the one in Orlando is the same way?
Probably, and more than likely.
Huh.
I just think it's weird. There's only like two Disneylands in all of America.
Well, I always thought growing up that we were the only ones with Disneyland,
Well,
and
yeah,
everybody has to fuck off and come over here.
yeah, usually, but I think Florida is Disney World, and then I think
That one's so much better, dude.
they have one in Europe. I think, which is like I think it's in France or something. Euro
Ah,
Disney.
huh. I
And
didn't know that either.
I don't think it's very popular over there, but I'm not 100% sure. Like
I know that
I never really hear like British people being like, "Oh, I can't wait to go to Disneyland, yay!"
yeah, I know that the Orlando one has the Avatar planet.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh man, that shit looks so fucking dope. It has floating rocks and everything too.
yeah. The wife wants to go sometime, or we're trying to get something, arrange something,
Yeah, I want to go too, but fuck, it's far.
because there's some kind of deal I think you can get. But we're getting too into Disneyland.
Yeah, I know. All right, moving on. So I was gonna ask you about movie what is it, Universal, right? They're the ones
Right?
that basically came up with the whole movie monster genre, like
Yeah,
the Mummy, Dracula, or
yeah, like
Dracula, pronounce it
Dracula,
right. Yeah,
um,
I said Dracula.
Dracula,
Yeah,
um,
and then Werewolf or Wolfman,
yeah, Wolfman.
Frankenstein, the Invisible Man. What is it? The creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yep, yep,
Yeah, dude. So all those shits, and
and the Mummy.
yeah, yeah, I said that in the beginning.
Oh, did you?
Get
Oh,
it?
okay.
Come on. Yeah, wake the
Oh,
fuck up,
I
Jimmy.
didn't
God
hear you.
damn it.
Sorry.
Ah,
My
God
bad.
damn it.
My bad.
And I'm the one that's fucking stoned out of my fucking mind. I'm actually pretty fucking alert for being stoned. That's kind of scary.
You got one of them uppers.
Well, no, man. I have all sleepers, dude.
Well, maybe
I
you're
have
one of those
three.
people that like, if they take like Vicks PM, it makes them stay up all night, or if they take Vicks AM, it makes them
I'm like
pass
the
out.
opposite of the fucking strain
Yeah.
because I put like fucking four different strains in this joint.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty good though.
It's like Sleepy Time Tea, Cryptochronic Light, Deaf,
And four
and
locos.
yeah, Four Locos.
Oh man. So yeah, back to the monsters there. Um I keep telling people this and people kind of like tend to disagree like you did earlier about the recent Mummy movie with what was it, Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I don't
I
know.
did not fucking like it.
I mean, I liked it, but I think more it was like I liked how it seemed like it was going to merge together with the rest of the universe.
Yeah,
Like
because
the dark no, what was it? Universal Studios Dark Universe.
hmm
So like they, like you mentioned the Wolfman, I think was redone in like 2010 by with the starring decent what's his name? Benicio del Toro.
yeah.
So that was like the beginning of the new Dark Universe where they're going to rehash out all the
Uh,
old black and white monsters,
yeah.
well, black and white film monsters, I should say, and it's supposedly, it's going to be one of those. I almost think they wanted to make it kind of like a Marvel killer, maybe,
Yeah.
but
I don't know how the fuck they're gonna do that, but
yeah, I mean, it's funny because I was reading an article and it went through the whole list of all the different monster movies that were supposed to be coming out and all the new Dark Universe stuff and what was expected, and then I realized the article was written in like 2017, and
fuck.
they're talking about like release dates of like 2019, and it's like nope, those dates have already passed. So, and I haven't heard that movie's out, so who
Yeah.
knows?
I think they finally realized that Disney was, you know, pretty much the dominant race when it comes to like movies and shit like that because fuck man, they got Star Wars, they got, the Avenger movies, all the Marvel movies. Like you gotta fucking cover like, they fucking wiped the floor with DC.
Yeah, yeah, that's
They
true.
wiped the floor with DC,
I
man.
do
So
really like the DC movies though, because it's weird because like not like Marvel universe is more of like an image, like a re-image of our universe. It's very the same except they're superheroes. Whereas the DC
yeah.
world is completely different, like magic and ancient gods and all that stuff like that exists
Uh
in that world. So that's
huh.
why you have the Atlanteans and you have the Amazonians and
More mythological and shit like that, right?
right. So it's in
Oh, yeah,
that world
because
all that craziness exists.
ah, damn. So they really thought they were gonna make a dark universe with
Well, I mean,
those.
Yeah, I mean
I
they made a few movies. They made
what
The
about
Wolfman, which was the beginning of it, and then they
yeah?
made Dracula Untold, and then they made The
Wait a
Mummy.
minute, Dracula Untold was a part of that?
Yeah, yeah, that was a
Huh.
Dark Universe story, whatever. The
What
beginning
about the
of Dracula.
what about that movie with who was it? Robert De Niro as Frankenstein. What about that one? Was that a part of it, or
No,
was that a whole different
that's
fucking weird
different. That was
storytelling?
just that was just like its own movie.
Oh, okay. I don't know why, but I like that movie a little bit.
Well, well, from that article I read, even though it was old, it had mentioned something about they were also gonna redo Van Helsing because the other Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman in it isn't technically a Universal movie.
Oh,
Like,
it
yeah,
wasn't?
no. So even though Universal like owns the rights or whatever,
Yeah.
it's that's not the that's not an actual Dark Universe like storyline movie they want to do.
Yeah, because they fucking Dracula was in it and the Wolfman was in it technically. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was in it. And they just showed, Dr. Jekyll in The Mummy with Tom Cruise.
Right.
And yeah, it'll be weird. Like, okay, if they made that a part of the Dark Universe, it's like, well, who the fuck are these other guys? So that's probably why they didn't go with that storyline.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
mean,
I
but I
don't know.
mean, still, I don't think they would have been allowed to capitalize on it, and it's not really like the story that they want to keep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's see. I think they
That's
also
crazy they
have,
stopped it.
yeah. So they have the Bride of Frankenstein. And from what I read here, the Bride of Frankenstein was supposed to be released for February 14th, 2019. So that's kind of weird. Like I haven't heard anything
Maybe you
about it.
got the shit can too, man.
Maybe. And then there's also the Invisible Man, Dracula, Helsing, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Oh, the Phantom of the Opera.
Ah,
It's
forgot
not
about that one.
as of this stupid ass article. It has not been confirmed if they're going to do Phantom of the Opera, but they still own it and they can do it. The Creature from the Black Lagoon, which is funny because I was talking to my sister because she's seen that movie. What is it? It's based that deaf girl or whatever, or the mute girl falls in love with this sea creature.
Oh, I'm in love with a creature. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Uh,
Yeah, it's the
I don't
the
know the
depth
name of it.
the depth of water or something weird like that. I can't remember what it's called, but
Is that
um,
a Guillermo del Toro movie or?
yeah, it is. And I guess
Ah,
and it's really weird because but it's not part of the Dark Universe. It's a completely different story technically, but Guillermo del Toro has come out saying that he wanted to revive the Creature from the Black Lagoon because he loved that story and he hated how it ended. He wanted the monster to like be able to fall in love or whatever. So he
uh-huh.
remade that whole movie himself, but unfortunately he kind of did it before the Dark Universe people kind of got a hold of it.
Uh,
Oh, here's another one I didn't realize: The
okay.
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
That was a part of that too?
Yeah,
What the fuck? I thought it was just the main dudes, like, the big, the big four or the big five or whatever the fuck they call it. They're just adding all kinds of motherfuckers to the dark universe then, huh?
yeah. Well, I mean,
Or
I
they
guess
tried.
they own all these people, and it's something else my sister said too. Because I guess like you can own something forever and ever and ever, but if you never use it, you kind of lose ownership of it, and other companies could
Yeah.
come in and
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 bid
make
on
their
it,
own.
right?
Yeah, will make their own movie on it or whatever, and they can't get punished for it. So
Uh,
Universal Studios, I think, has to in like the next couple years start making all these monster movies so that somebody else can't come and redo.
take that idea.
Yeah, because then it wouldn't be technically part of the Universal Dark Universe like series. But it's just
Uh,
I don't know. It's just such a slow execution, Because I think when did Dracula Untold come out in like 2016 or something?
which
And
one?
it Dracula Untold. Do you remember when it came out?
No, but I can look it up.
Uh,
Dracula
well,
Untold.
I'm pretty sure it's been out for at least 4 or 5 years. So that's 4 or 5 years, and then the Wolfman came out 2010. So they almost waited like 5 or 6
Actually,
years to come out with another Universal movie, whereas Marvel's pumping them out like every year and a half almost.
yeah. Dracula Untold came out 2014.
Okay, so it was like about yeah, so it was like almost 6 years, 5 years.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and then I guess the what's the other one? The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I think that's also
I
a
remember that
Universal,
one.
but it's not part of the Dark Universe. So if they were gonna do it, they would do it all over again and make it like a completely different movie, but use I guess similar characters. I don't know.
You know what? That movie was pretty good too, man. I'm not gonna lie. Even though it was kind of corny, but I liked that movie because it
Yeah,
brought all the fucking, the legends together. Like Captain Nemo was one of them, right?
yeah,
Captain Nemo and the submarine. Oh man, I don't know what it was, but that movie was pretty damn good, man. I
yeah.
don't know
That made
about
me
that
trip out.
fucking yeah.
You know what part
So
got me was when
2014.
the guy's like, "Oh, I'm Agent Tom Sawyer." I was like, "Oh my god, it's Tom Sawyer."
Oh,
So yeah,
that's crazy.
that's the part that got me. Like everything else was like, "Oh, this is cool. Okay, yeah, that guy." Like I've heard of the characters before, like
Yeah,
Gray, whatever his name is, and then I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." But then when they mentioned Tom Sawyer, he's Special Agent Tom Sawyer, or whatever from America, I was like,
yeah.
"Oh my gosh." I got the
America,
vapors.
America.
Hey, they would never been able to do it without us.
Uh-uh. But so damn, that's interesting. I didn't know that whole. I literally just learned about that Dark Universe shit like last year,
Yeah, but
and I
what's
heard it on.
funny is that like all those movies are kind of based off of like, well, maybe the movies themselves aren't based off of true stories, but definitely true like references and legends and stuff like that. Like Dracula or
Mm,
vampires and wolfmen and mummies, which kind of do exist, but they don't really come to life.
yeah, or
I don't know.
bloodsuckers. I don't know, man. Yeah, that's crazy. When was the first Dracula movie? Remember that black and white one with that bald dude?
Yeah, it's called Nosferatu or
Yeah,
Nosferatu.
I am not gonna spell that out.
Yeah, no, it's
Nos, probably gonna
no.
spell it all stupid.
There's a F.
N-A-S
Yeah, there's a F in
F
there somewhere. So,
U R A2. But leading off of that, bro, check it out now. What about the monsters in our world?
like which
Like,
ones?
oh man, like let's say the most famous one, chupacabra,
Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah.
right? Yeah, there's one, and then there's another one. There's a bunch of them, dude. Uh, I can't think of one off the top of my head. Can I? Nope. I think the
Tell-
first one that comes, the thing that comes up to mind first is the chupacabra.
Yeah,
Like shit like that, or like the Mothman.
I would figure Bigfoot.
Oh, that's true. There we go. Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, Loch Ness.
Oh man,
Um, there's not too many like
what is it?
monster references in the world.
Yeah. What about that one they call it a skunk or what is it? A skunk monster? Or maybe
Skunk
that's
monster.
still maybe it's
Oh,
still called Bigfoot, right?
yeah,
Maybe it's still
yeah, yeah. I
related
think
to
it's one of the categories of Bigfoots. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, swamp skunk or some shit like that. I don't know.
yeah.
I've
I know
heard
what
it
you're
so
talking
many
about.
times.
But they like just super stink and stuff.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's here. But what was that name of that show that was on National Geographic where they went looking for Bigfoot and they're like, there he is, and they fucking make noises in the background and shit.
Yeah, I can't remember the I can't remember the name now. I can't remember the name of the show now.
Finding Bigfoot. I think it's
Yeah, there you
Finding
go.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, I think so. And then they had the one guy like, "Let's get squashy." You're like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, you can tell that shit was fucking fake,
Well,
man.
he seemed like he was like on drugs or something the whole time. I would have been too for hunting down, Bigfoots and stuff. But they had their weird little experiments and stuff that they did too. They do the knocking on the wood, which is supposedly something that Bigfoots do. They did the crazy hollering, which Bigfoots make that sound, and I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, but
But th-
how many people do you think like actually saw Bigfoot, dude?
I don't
Like,
know. I mean, a lot of the like eyewitness account stuff, it's I don't know. You kind of guess you have to go back to the history of it because like Sasquatches kind of go back to like Native American times.
Yeah.
So like Native Americans like, oh yeah, don't go up in those woods because those woods don't belong to anybody but the Sasquatch. So don't go up there. And then I think I seen one where this lady was talking about like she was an eyewitness and she had been visited by a Sasquatch when she was a child, and then that same Sasquatch has come around since she's become an adult and has like helped her.
Uh-huh.
And I
Huh.
guess it actually like talks to her, and then it's almost like a elder chief almost like if he's gonna give you wisdom, you better listen to it kind of deal.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's
Crazy.
just yeah, that was kind of weird. Like all those people on that show, they're always just like they're so close to catching it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, and
they're
then
just
it just
yeah, like it ran away. Oh, it's so far away. I can't see it now. Or
I don't fucking
it was like it was like right next to him a minute ago, and they're like, no, Squashy, come back.
He's like, "Oh my god, he tied my shoe. Shit, there he goes. Oh, he left. Damn it.
Yeah,
Damn
yeah.
it." Yeah, like
And they're like, oh, in the next episode, will we catch a Sasquatch? You're like, probably not, because yeah,
no. But no, but I trip out that we have the technology to find these fucking animals or monsters or whatever the fuck you are. Like for example, the Loch Ness monster. If you really wanted to look for this fucking thing, you would easily fucking bring in a submarine of some sort. And just to fucking play it safe, put some fucking rockets on this thing. You don't know if this motherfucker wants to play or he wants to fuck your submarine. So, like, we have the fucking technology. We have the fucking
yeah, but
technology to
I don't
find
know.
these.
I think at
It's
this
almost
point,
like,
like Loch Ness and all those creatures, they've become such like a household
a
name,
hoax.
sort of,
Yeah,
and not really a hoax, but like people want to believe it's true, so they don't want anybody to try and disprove it or debunk it.
that's fucking weird. Man, if I was a fucking billionaire, I would automatically fucking hire a mercenary group with a fucking submarine and send them all fucking down there to look for this fucking thing. But obviously, I know, like from all the shit that I've seen too, people, like remember the infamous picture of the Loch Ness monster, the black and white one, where you see
Yeah,
like the silhouette, and they ended up debunking it, and it was a fucking toy, like a dinosaur toy floating.
yeah, something weird like that. I remember that.
Some guy got famous for that picture, and then somebody fucking called him out on his shit, and figured out that yeah, he used a fucking toy. He threw it in the water, and he was pulling it with a string, taking pictures of it. And then the infamous Bigfoot picture where they clearly see a watch on his wrist.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
still like the number one evidence people have. It's insane.
yeah, they still use it as a reference. Like this is
Like they
what we
can't
got.
get like a fleet of helicopters in the air and shining lights down and infrared and heat signatures and just like
Yeah,
bam, like
right.
oh there they are all, there's all the damn Bigfoots
Yeah,
out
there's
there.
the fucking there's a little town right there, man. Fucking Bigfoots with a strip bar and everything.
Yeah.
Watching some Sasquatch titties and shit. Like they're all hair. But fuck, like, dude, I saw this thing on. I was listening to Joe Rogan the other day, and he was talking about they're finding lost cities in the Amazon, and they use this fucking technology that shoots down some kind of a signal, and it bounces up. I honestly forgot the name of the device they used, but it shows them.
It's probably just ground penetrating radar, something like that.
Yeah, and they find these lost cities underneath all those trees, dude. Like
Oh yeah.
there's like a 3D layout of it on a computer after it gets scanned, and you see like little fucking Aztec pyramids and shit like that, wherever the fuck they're from. But man, like you don't think by now we would have seen these fucking things with the technology that we have at our disposal, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know,
Like I
it's like
said,
they're
I
just
think
like, no, let's just leave it
it's like
alone.
yeah, it's like any legend, it draws people and it makes people, whimsical about it and stuff. So it's like, might as well just keep it alive. It's not really hurting anybody, but except for maybe people who are trying to go out there and find Bigfoots, but
Fucking not on our podcast. We're gonna fucking demolish that shit. All right.
we're
I
gonna go
just
kill us a Bigfoot.
we're gonna go get a Bigfoot. And we're gonna fucking tweet it, man.
Ooh.
We're gonna twat that thing. Twitter, twatter, whatever the fuck you call it, Twitter, twatter.
we'll tweet. We'll
But
tweet about it.
tweet about it. And then, of course, the chupacabra
Yeah.
uh, pictures, man. There's so many of them. People are like, no, it looks like this. The way I got it was the first picture I saw of this fucking thing. It was like a little green alien with long ass teeth, right? Kind of looked like a green Smeagol, pretty much,
Okay.
right? Like over a goat, like I'm like, okay, that's fucking fake, right? And
Yeah.
then people are like, no, it doesn't look like that. It actually fucking flies and it has white feathers surrounding its body.
Oh
I'm like,
shit.
okay. Yeah, that was that rendition. There's one where it says it's just a big ass fucking praying mantis just walking around Mexico eating goats.
Yeah,
I'm
that
like,
that scared the
fuck,
crap out of me.
fuck. Imagine a 10-foot mantis.
Yeah.
Like, give me your fucking goat, man. Like, fucking take it, bro. I ain't fighting you, man. You got some karate moves in there and shit, man.
Well, the one I always remember, like when they first came out with it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the chupacabra," and it was like hysterica or whatever.
Yeah,
Everyone was
people.
hysterical.
It was like a fucking like a national crisis, dude.
Yeah, yeah, for like about like a month, and they would release these pictures of, and they look like dogs. Like
Yeah, that's
they
the
look
one too.
like starved, like grossed out dogs, or they got like hair problems and stuff. But then people were saying like, no, this is the dead
Mange,
one.
right?
Yeah, mange. But the ranchers or whatever were saying, no, this is the one I shot that was killing my sheep or killing my goat right now. So then I think they kind of had to rethink that a little bit. But still, I think some of the pictures are just super fake. I think they're just dogs or wolves or something. But there has
Yeah.
been some of those stories where like they say like it's not like a dog, but it is definitely like a some kind of long-legged like creepy monster thing that has like a snout sort of.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Look, here's another one. I'm just gonna show you pictures on the chat thing. But yeah, keep going. Sorry, because I'm finding these pictures. They're fucking hilarious. If all you guys at home listening to this, if you have a chance, just type in chupacabra on Google image search, and you're gonna see some fucking funny ass pictures, man. Like they have the picture of a kangaroo laying down with red eyes, chupacabra.
Jeez. Well, that was the one of the
Like,
big things, right? It had like shiny red eyes or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
But
the
yeah,
thing,
man,
the
there's so
picture you
many
showed me,
fucking
this is like a weird like mutated bat or something.
yeah. Okay, that's the one that they were talking about a long time ago.
See, I had
But
never
then
heard
there's
about it flying. I've never heard about it flying.
yeah, you see, like the one you're referring to, yeah, it looks like a fucking mange dog.
Wait, is this a Salvadorian chupacabra?
I don't know. I
Like,
kind of looks like me, man. When I don't get my fucking when I don't get my coffee in the morning and shit.
well, I'm just wondering,
But,
like maybe they're like their chupacabra, their goat sucker is
I don't
something
know.
different.
I don't think El Salvador had that issue. I think it was Mexico that
Yeah,
had that chupacabra thing. They're the most famous for showing that off
yeah.
pretty
So
much.
I think a lot of cases it was just maybe like a rabid dog. But I mean, some people push really hard for the El Chupacabra to be alive, and people have had weird eyewitnesses where they can say they tell you like it was not a dog. It was definitely some kind of weird, creepy, long-legged monster.
It's a
And
preachy creature.
yeah, sorry. Well, not like that. Like that looks more like a reptile. The picture you're showing
Yeah,
me.
I see. They now that one.
That's
Like,
more
I'm sorry for
classic,
the
though.
people.
That is more
Yeah, that was.
classic.
Yeah, that's the one I saw in the beginning that they talked. It was like a little green alien type, creature, with long legs, long arms. But yeah, like actually, when you type in on Google search, the first like maybe 30, 40 pictures you're gonna look at is that mange dog.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know. I think that's just a dog.
yeah. I think so too.
That's just a feral dog that has no medical, you know, any
Never been
medical.
to the vet.
Yeah. So that's what that is. It's just a wild dog.
Yeah, more than likely.
That, yeah. But man, dude, there's so many pictures. You just type in Chupacabra and they just have all kinds of fucking pictures. except for like I said, like the first 20 or 30, you're gonna see that dog and whatnot. But yeah, this is a little creepy. Yeah, a little fucking creepy there. But Bigfoot, chupacabra, like Salvador, I've only like ran into like ghost stuff.
Yeah,
Like you know, I never ran into like, oh shit, green, you know, there's a
it's like
green thing just running around the fucking house,
eating
you
all the
know,
goats.
eating all the chickens. No, we didn't have any of those, but previous episode, fucking just straight paranormal, you know.
Well, I was gonna say that's kind of interesting that we haven't really heard. Maybe El Chupacabra might be the only thing we've had in the last like, man, probably like 30 years now. That's kind of like a new monster.
Hmm.
Like I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true.
I haven't heard anything about any kind of like new monsters in the world. Like it's the same old monsters, and then you have the universal monsters. Like I said, where a lot of them are based on you know medieval times and Byzantine times, like stories about people, you know, drinking blood or soaking in blood and staying young, looking forever
Ah,
and stuff like that. And then there's always stories about wolfmen. Like even in Native American stories, they have like the trickster,
yeah,
which can turn into like a wolf or a man or a coyote and a man. And I guess technically it's a god, but it likes to just mess around with people.
just fuck with you, dude.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
an asshole. Imagine you're out there fucking smoking some peyote and shit, and this motherfucker just comes up and turns into like half half bear, half pig,
Yeah, Bearman
like
Pig.
bear man pig. Like imagine just him just what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, oh
That's
man, I'm
that's what I'm
I'm
saying
double
though.
fucked.
There's no new monsters in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, like all the other monsters from way back then, those are like old folklores and shit, like like the succubus,
Yeah. Well, even
like
those are like
succubus.
demons and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah. So it's kind of that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, maybe I guess you could say, um, Freddy and Jason, all them might be
Yeah.
considered monsters, but I don't think so because they're
Like,
technically they're humans that kind of like sold their souls or never had a soul or whatever their deal was, and they just kill people. They're just super duper serial killers.
yeah.
So I mean, I don't
Huh.
think they would count as monsters. Like, at least I don't think so, because they're still human. Okay, that's not a
Okay.
monster either.
Look. Okay, guys, listening at home, I just posted up a picture, and this was categorized under chupacabra.
Is that Beetlejuice, the guy that's always on the Howard Stern show?
No, that's not him. I don't know
Oh,
who the fuck that is. That burger looks nasty though. It's this heavy set black guy wearing a helmet
yeah,
with goggles, and he's getting ready to chow down on this fucking. Maybe he's like a 20-pound burger. I
maybe
want to say
it's huge. I mean, he's able to still hold it though.
it's as big as his head or bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's unhealthy monster. But uh,
Oh, oh, it's
talking
Cookie
about
Monster.
ghosts, talking about ghosts earlier. Do we have time for a fucking ghost story?
Uh, yeah. You ready to tell a little ghost story? Ghost story time?
Oh hell yeah, that's it. It's
Should we?
on.
You said you had more than one story, right? Or what?
Oh fuck yeah, I have a shit ton, dude.
Well, I mean, just for now, because I'll
Oh,
give
for
you
now, no,
another.
I'm yeah, no. I
Well,
have
if you like, because
plenty of
I
stories that I
told
can tell over time if you want.
right, yeah, but I mean, I told two stories last week with the alien stuff, and then you held back a ghost story. So this time you tell two ghost stories, and I'll hold back, and then we'll go back on
Oh,
the regular schedule next time or something.
when you talk about hold back, like hold back my hand. No, you want to
Yeah,
hold my hand? And let's hold
sure.
hands because I'm scared. All right.
And then we'll roll back.
No, I'm good actually. I don't like rolling back. I like rolling forward.
Always got to move forward.
Yeah, man. All right,
So,
so you know,
so story time.
story time. All right, this time I'm going to talk about an incident. Of course, all my stories, by the way, Uh, Not so much out here as it is in El Salvador, because like I said, in our first episode, um, I feel like over there like the more people that believe in it, it's like more amplified. You get what I'm saying? Like I feel like over there in El Salvador or even in Mexico too, like you always hearing like crazy like La Llorona and fucking just fucking scary shit that goes on in like South America.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like fuck, like I feel like it happens out here too in the US. I just never
Well, yeah, we,
really
we talked about that last
experienced it.
time. That like the more people believe in it, the more energy it gets from it.
Yeah, yeah. So I like over there, like every time as a kid going over there to El Salvador, like I've always encountered shit. Like I either like witnessed something or I was involved in some weird fucking ghost battles or like there's like I'm not gonna tell this one story until like later on, maybe like I'll throw it in there. But man, it was like fucking it felt like two ghosts like duking it out
Huh?
in my great grandmother's room.
Jeez.
Like, yeah, it's crazy, but I'll tell that story later on because it's pretty long.
All right. And these are all they're
So
going to be chronological, right?
yeah,
Okay.
so the first one I told you guys about, was the little girl running through the house while I was recording. That was the first time I witnessed, paranormal activities and whatnot.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
yeah, so the second time I encountered this was, I want to say like I was like 8 years old when the first one happened. So this one took place about a year later, like nine. I want to say 9 or 10 years old, maybe a couple of years after. Um, so the house that my great grandmother lived in, it was at the base of the hill, which they call the volcano. It's basically a hot water volcano or a freshwater volcano, or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Okay.
Uh, Kind of like a fucking giant ass geyser,
Yeah, it's
but
a
it's
hot
like,
springs or something like that.
yeah, there we go. Because you drive up there to the very top of it, and there's natural water veins coming out of it, and that's why a lot of farmers like to build their plantations on that. So we were at the base of that, and it's a big fucking house that we stayed at. It's like a basically an L-shaped house at the base of the mountain, and there's a bunch of houses, side to side, build all the way up to the top now. And back then, it was like if you think about it, the roads were all like the roads were shit.
Yeah.
There was like fucking like it was like dirt roads with fucking giant rocks in the way and shit. And cars couldn't really make it up there, so they used horses and wagons to go up there. They're more meant for those roads, because you try to drive up there in a fucking in a Honda Civic, you're not gonna make it. So they just use the good old fashioned horsepower. So growing up, man, growing up over there, I always heard this fucking wagon being pulled. And
Oh.
the crazy part was this was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I want to say 2 in the morning, and I would hear this wagon, just go down the street in front of the house by the main entrance. Do you hear the horse kind of like walking all chill, and you hear
Okay.
him pulling the wagon. And like I said, this house was shaped like an L. So the street basically turned into there's like an intersection right at the corner of our property. Where you go the two alleyways. One alley goes up the little hill. The other alleyway goes on the other side of the town, and then the main road that goes in between all the stores and the houses and whatnot. And we would always hear this cart, you know, go down to the corner and then make a right turn. So it's still going along our property.
Huh.
And every night, man, every fucking night, I would hear this fucking thing. And one day I went up to my great grandmother, I'm like, hey, like I always hear this guy pulling a fucking wagon at. No, I didn't say fucking, but I always hear this guy pulling a wagon. Yeah, at 3 in the morning. Like what's going on? Like, what is he doing that's so important at 3 in the morning? Wakes me up. It fucking irritates me. And she's like, you didn't look for him, did you? And I go, look for him? No, I just it wakes me up. It's actually fucking annoying.
Huh.
And she's like, okay, look, whatever you do, don't go looking for this guy. It's bad. He sees bad omens. And I go, bad omens? Like, what the fuck? I just looked around. I looked at my cousins, and I was like, what? And she's like, just don't go looking for him. I said, all right, cool. I'm not gonna look for him. Whatever. And then I go up to my uncle, and I'm like, hey, what is she talking about? Bad omens? Like this, there's a guy just pulling a wagon. What's wrong with him? And he looks at me, and he kind of like leans in. And he's like, look, I'm letting you know right now that whatever that is pulling that cart, it's a demon.
Damn.
It's some kind of a fucking demon. And I go, okay, fill me in. I need to know more before I go looking for him. And then he goes, well, the story behind this demon is it's just a guy on a cart. You know, the horse looks like shit. The way that people say that they saw it was that the horse is like, you know, falling apart, like decomposing basically.
Oh, okay.
And the guy on the cart, he's in a, you know, in this trench. It's almost like I want to say like, you know, like the Jedi's wear those big ass robes.
Yeah.
So he had like a robe like that with a hood, but his face was all black with red eye, not kind of like dark red eyes. What would you call that? What kind of color would you call that?
Um.
Almost like fuck. They were just they were basically like his face was black, but you can tell that those were his eyes because it was
Huh.
like a shade of red. It was a dark shade of red, but you can tell big time like, okay, it's not blending in with the black, you know, of his face.
Right.
So and he was telling me all this shit, and he goes, yeah, and then in his cart he's hauling a bunch of, you know, heads.
Huh.
Like it's a cart full of heads, and then he has, you know, pikes sticking out the side of the cart with heads on them too.
Jeez.
Like he's basically going around collecting, you know, debts that supposedly, you know, people that kind of like sell their soul to the devil and whatnot,
Oh,
or
okay.
they fucking, you know, they fully emerge into the black magic or brujeria or, you know, santeria or whatever the fuck they call it.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Anything that had to do
witchcraft
with,
and stuff like that.
yeah, so everything that had to do with, you know, dark magic or dark, witchcraft and whatever you call it, like that guy came to collect the debt. That was his job.
Huh.
You know, according, that's what people said in the town, that's what he does. And by the way, I asked a lot of fucking people about this. I went, you know, door to door asking random people like, hey, who's the guy that's pulling the cart? And they're like, no, I don't want to talk about it. Like, don't. Yeah, they either dodge or they tell me like, yeah, it's some fucking dude hauling a bunch of dead heads on the back of a cart. Like, don't
Okay.
fucking. Yeah, if he looks at you, you're fucked.
Huh.
Yeah, like if he caught a glimpse of you, you're dead. Like he automatically collects your head because no one's supposed to see him but dead people. Like people who are ready to die, they get to see him. You know, so I'm like, after all this shit went down, I'm looking at my cousins. I'm like, hey, we got walkie-talkies, we got flashlights. Let's get on the roof at 2:50 in the morning, and let's fucking catch this shit, whoever the fuck it is. I want to see what the fuck it's all about. And after people telling me don't fucking look for that thing, and here I am going, yeah, I'm gonna gather up all fucking, you know, 8 of my cousins and be like, yo, let's fucking go on the roof and look for this guy. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, right, fucking, oh, you know. So we get on the roof, right? You know, that same night, you know, kind of go to sleep. We wake up like around 1:30 or something like that, and we get ready and we're like, all right, cool, get on the roof, let's go. It's all right. You guys, you know, we split off and like, okay, you guys go to the alley side of the house, and we'll stay here on the main road, you know. And we're all sitting there on walkie-talkies, and they say, all right, it's 3:00. It's time, dude. And we're just waiting and waiting, and sure enough, dude. And I swear to God, dude, I wish I had fucking cell phones back then with that technology. Actually, are you still here?
Who, me? Yeah.
Oh fuck, man, you scared the shit.
What? I'm just
No,
been
like,
listening to you.
oh man, you were just fucking super quiet. I'm like, is he still here?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad, dude. So we're sitting there on the main road, you know, on the roof of our house, facing the main road. The other guys facing the alley. And all of a sudden, bam, we hear this thing coming, and it's fucking loud. I was like, that's it, dude. We're gonna catch this fucking thing. We're gonna catch it. We're all sitting there like, oh my god. We're like, oh, you know,
Hmm.
ready for this thing to pass by. Nothing. But the fucking weirdest part about that is that fucking cart sounded like it was right in front of us. Like
Huh.
we hear it from the top of the hill, kind of low, but when it gets to the fucking front of the house, it's fucking loud, and
Hmm.
we hear it. We don't see anything, but we hear this shit. And you know, just to be clear, there's no trees in front of the house. There's only like bushes, but they're low, and we're above, so we can see the street. We can see the entirety of the street without being, you know, without any trees or bushes obscuring our vision. And on the alley side, there's no trees at all. You're just looking straight down on the street itself.
Hmm.
And dude, and then I'm radioing into, you know, I'm, you know, hitting up my cousin on the other side, like, hey, like, dude, I think it's here, dude. I hear it, but I don't fucking see shit. And he goes, what? He goes, dude, it's over here, man. We hear it on the alley. And I'm like, no, it's over here. It's in front of the house. And he's like, no, come over here. And I go over there and I hear the same shit. I hear the same thing. It's fucking loud in the alley. And I'm calling my other cousins back where I was, and I say, hey, dude, is it still there? He goes, yeah, it's still here. Like, we hear it slowly passing the front of the house. And we're just looking at each other like, what the fuck is going on, dude? And that shit gets louder and louder, and then it stopped.
Huh.
It stopped, and then we never heard it again. And we sat there kind of like fucking disappointed. We're like, man, we didn't see shit. But where did it go? Like, dude, we didn't see it. We did not
Yeah.
fucking see this shit, like, at all. It literally stopped in front of the house.
Yeah, but
They
you could
said it
hear it the
stopped.
whole time, right?
Yeah, we heard it. We heard it like if it was right in front of us, dude.
Oh.
And they're like, okay, fuck this shit. Somebody's fucking with us, right? I think it was like my uncle, probably, or something like that. We go back in the house, we knock out. Wake up the next day, right? And I go up to my great grandmother and I'm like, hey, you know what? We pretty much looked for this guy in the cart and we didn't see anything. And she looked at me, she's like, what did you say? And I said, we looked for the guy hauling the cart full of heads. We didn't see anything. And she's fucking panics, dude. She fucking panics. I've never seen her this sketched out ever, dude. She
Hmm.
was a fucking tough woman. She survived the Civil War over there. And she was shook, bro. She was shook. And she just went, you know, and in the house, inside the house next to the kitchen, they had like a little shrine that they, you know, they pray to, you know, the Jesus statues and whatever
Yeah.
when they couldn't make it a church. So she fucking goes into the kitchen. She tells my grandmother what happened. Well, she kind of sang languages because my grandmother's deaf, but she kind of like explaining to her with her hands, like, you know, and my grandma's like, oh, fuck, like, oh, blah, 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 blah. You know, I don't know how, you know, I don't want to make fun of deaf people, but, um, and then my great grandmother goes and tells my great aunt what happens, and then she tells my aunt what happens, and they're all sitting there in front of the little shrine thing praying and shit. And I'm like, was I not supposed to fucking look for this thing? Like, I didn't see it. And my uncle comes in like mad. He's fucking pissed. And he's like, what the fuck did you do? And I said, whoa, like, is it that bad? Like, we didn't see it. None of us saw it. And he goes, well, just think of it like this. You know, last night was your lucky night because if you would have saw him, you would have died. Period.
It's
Obviously,
crazy.
that guy was not there. That guy was not there to collect your head.
Yeah.
And I was just like looking around, going, "Oh shit!" Like everybody's fucking dead serious about it. Once I saw that they went to go pray, and then my uncle got all mad at me, like, okay, that wasn't. That was fucking stupid what I did.
Hmm.
I shouldn't have fucking done that because yeah, that was like we heard it, dude. We we pretty much heard it, and we felt the vibration on the house itself, dude. Because that cart sounds like it was fucking heavy. And like when it kept, you know, rolling over rocks and fucking bouncing down off of a rock or something, like we felt like the roof kind of shake, and we're like, oh shit, it's right there.
Dang.
But ah man, yeah, dude.
And it was like the typical, like, your folks and everyone was like, oh no, just ignore it, right?
Yeah, no, well, no, like the first time around they didn't care, like oh whatever, right? But this time, dude, this shit got serious. Like they went and they started praying. You know, my uncle got mad at me. like that's a whole different spirit not to fuck with. You know, like the one that happened the first time, they're like, ah, whatever, it happens, big deal. That wasn't there to hurt anybody. That was just there like to do what fucking ghosts do.
Yeah.
But this fucking thing, that's a whole different, category of paranormal.
Hmm.
You know, like this was like demonic. Like this is like somebody going around like, hey, you sold your soul to the devil. Let's fucking go, man. You gotta go. Taking you down to the ferry, or the
But
river of Styx, or
I mean
whatever the
that
fuck
was
they call
the
it.
yeah, paying the Riverman or whatever, two pieces.
Yeah, the yeah,
But
two
this was
pieces of yeah.
but your
That's why
whole
they left the
family,
coins in the eye, right?
yeah. But your whole family kind of was like, yeah, that's what it is. Like, don't worry about it. Don't listen to it. Just ignore it.
Yeah, the first time
Yeah.
around.
But they knew about it
The
though.
first.
Like they heard it and they just chose not to react or anything.
Well, I think. Oh man, like I didn't hear like the origins of how this story started, but the way I feel about it is that they heard it, and maybe somebody did see it and live to tell, or I don't know what the fuck, man. But like everybody was shook. Like my great grandmother did not want me looking for whatever it was that I wanted to look for. She told me, don't look for it. Do not fucking look for it. My uncle told me, don't fucking look for it. The people in the fucking town told me to just forget about it. Like, yeah, this shit was serious, bro. This shit was like it's demonic, dude. It was demonic. Like everybody in the whole town did not fucking want me looking for this thing.
Damn.
And when my uncle's like, yeah, it wasn't your time to die, dude. He didn't come and collect your head. And I'm like, whoa, fuck. Everybody got super serious after I did that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that there, and after that, dude, like I heard the cart. You know what's crazy, dude? What was it last year when I took the family for the first time? I
Uh-huh.
fucking heard it again, dude. I fucking heard it. I didn't say shit. I didn't say shit because I don't want I don't want my wife freaking out. I don't want my daughter hearing it. I didn't want my son freaking out. I fucking heard it, and we were staying about, man, I want to say like a good, 100, maybe a couple 100 feet from my grandmother's house. Like we were like literally on the other side of the street,
Oh.
facing their house.
Right.
And I heard the cart. Like I woke up one morning, dude, and I heard this fucking cart, and it sounded the same, dude. It sounded exactly the same.
Hmm.
And I
That,
tripped, dude. I sat there. I'm like, is it fucking coming for me, man? Because man, I'm not gonna look for this fucker, man.
yeah, it's pretty scary, especially
Yeah,
adults telling kids like, oh, it's specifically coming to look for you because you're bad.
oh man, it was crazy, dude. It was fucking crazy. And even crazier, dude, is at that time when that shit happened, we were out there for like that was like day 3 of me, being there.
Oh.
We got there like 2 days before. We got there 2 days before that incident happened, and then the third day we went down to my grandma's, and everybody gathers there so we can celebrate Christmas and whatever. And it's like always in Christmas that shit happens. Like around Christmas time. I mean, it's like when everything's fucking active,
Yeah.
spirits and fucking anything else, dude. And then I kid you not, Jimmy. After that incident happened with the whole cart and all that crazy shit, about a week later, we were up. Like my mom has property in that mountain, the one they call the El Volcán. They call it. It's a volcano.
Uh-huh.
My mom has this big fucking plot of land there with 2 natural water veins coming out, right? And we went to it, and it's all jungle. Like I'll show you some pictures later on. It's all jungle. Like it's covered in fucking plantain, trees or whatever, and mango trees and coca leaf trees, and I mean it's covered in everything. Like it's
Mhm.
a straight like if you remember Predator, the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Hmm.
Like very tropical, very jungle-like scenario. Like I fucking felt like Arnold for a second. I just needed my what was the other actor's name? Jesse Ventura and
From Predator?
Carl's wins. Yeah, but who's the black guy? Who's the black guy? Apollo Creed.
Yeah, Apollo Creed. I can't remember his name right now though.
Billy, is it Billy Mays? It was Billy Mays. No,
No, Billy
not
Mays
Billy
is the guy
Mays.
that died who did the OxyClean commercials.
Yeah, no, not him. My bad.
Billy D. Williams?
There we go. Yeah,
No,
I needed one of
Billy D.
those.
Williams is from Star Trek.
Star Wars. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah,
Star
yeah, yeah.
Trek. Fuck.
Star Trek.
Okay, so we got all our movies fucked up right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but so
Oh my god.
very tropical, very jungle, like. And one day, me and my uncles went up there to kind of like look around and see if anybody's been fucking sleeping on the property. And we go deep in there, and it's really fucking like covered. Like you can't like there's no sunlight hitting it.
Mhm.
That's how green it is there. And my uncle's like, hey, if anything, dude, watch out. Watch where you're stepping because there's snakes here and there's fucking big ass pythons and whatnot. And I go, oh shit, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with that. And kid you not, man, right when they said that, we see one of those. We see a python hanging on a tree, and it's like a big fucking black. It was all black. Like I've never seen a python like that fucking black. It was really dark, and I was just like, that's a crazy looking snake. And we kept looking at it, and for some reason, like all my uncles stopped to look at it. Like we were all focused on that fucking snake, and we go, damn, that's a fucking weird looking snake. Like it didn't look right. Like to us, we all, for some reason, we clicked together, and we're like, that doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And we was like,
Yeah.
all right, let's keep fucking walking, dude. And right when we decided to do that shit, we hear somebody call out a name.
Huh.
And when I tell you that we're out in the middle of this jungle, there's nobody there. There's no houses around us. There's no farmers nearby. Like the plot of land that my mom has, I think it's like a good 15, 20 acres, I want to say, give or take.
Mhm.
So it's fucking big. 20
Yeah.
acres is fucking huge.
Yeah.
And there's nobody, we were like away from the town. We're about, I want to say like 25 minutes away from the town. That's how far we were.
Okay.
So we heard somebody call out a name, but it wasn't a voice, like that was familiar to us, because if my uncles would have said something, I would have known, okay, it's him. Because everyone has a distinct voice and whatnot. And the minute I heard that voice being called out, we all looked at each other like, what the fuck was that? And then I go, you heard that too? And they're like, yeah, we heard it. Did you? That wasn't you? And I go, no. And we're just looking around like, what the fuck is going on? And we hear it again, but this time it's calling my uncle's name, my oldest uncle. And we turn around and we're like, what the fuck? And I was just like, okay, this is getting bad. And we kept looking back to the snake, and the snake was still there, but this motherfucker was focused on us, dude.
Huh.
Like laser focused. And all of a sudden I hear my name being called out. And I go, okay, look, I swear to God, dude, if you can just see my arms right now, like I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of goosebumps.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Well, I'm sunburned the fuck up, but I can see my goosebumps. And dude, when I heard my name, I said, okay, dude, we gotta go. I said, this is not right, dude. And I start panicking. I start getting like claustrophobic almost. And I start hyperventilating. I'm like, we got to get out, dude. I can't breathe. And they're like, oh shit. Like, they're like, what do we do? Like, like they don't know what the fuck to do either. Like, I was just like, let's go. Like, which way? And then we hear it again, dude. And this time it calls my mom's name.
Dang.
And we're looking at the fucking snake when it did that. And I kid you not, dude, his head tilts when he calls my mom's name. And I was like, oh, like, you know how a pug tilts his head side to side?
Yeah, like he kind of recognizes who's talking or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. I'm fucking like, I'm tripping out so bad. But it tilts his head like sideways, bro. When it said my mom's name, and it's like, all right, dude, we're leaving. See ya. Fuck this. Let's go. And we start swinging machetes to get the fuck out of there. Like, nope, we're not doing this. We panicked, dude. We got the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
We got the fuck. Oh man, I never went back there. I went back, last year to look at the property, but I didn't go inside. I didn't go inside to look at the property. We just drove by the entrance. We're like, all right, let's go. Keep going. And I never told my mom. I never told my mom what happened. I never
Good,
told my mom. I should tell her though.
good thing she doesn't listen to our podcast, I guess.
I'm gonna make her. No, just kidding.
Oh yeah.
No, but but yeah,
Secrets.
because she was talking about last year. She was talking about like selling half of that property, like parting it out, and building a house on the other half. And she's like, you can move, you can build a house there if you want. It's your property too. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. Like, no, I'm good, man. I'm good. I don't want to live there.
Well, I mean, it's far enough away, though. I mean, who knows? You'll just see
Well, I
the
mean, yeah, like
ghosties in the
build.
distance. That's all.
No, I'm good, dude. I don't want to look at it. Period. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to fucking hear it fart. I don't want to hear that thing take a shit, eat, snore. I don't want to hear anything from it, dude. Like, I'm good, man. Like that shit, and it's like talking about it, dude. Talking about it right now, that picture came into my head of that fucking snake, dude, tilting its head like that. And it was a
Huh.
big fucking python, dude. It was a big fucking, like, I want to say, like, this thing looked like it was fucking 10 feet,
Huh.
like a 10-footer maybe, like, because it was a fat ass snake, dude. It
Dang.
was fucking fat, bro. And this thing just tilted his head when he called my mom's name out, and I'm like, fuck this. I was
Let's
like, girlfriends,
bounce.
let's bounce. Like, no,
Yeah.
but that shit fucking creeped me the fuck out. Like, literally, dude, like, I have goosebumps. Like, my legs, like, I felt the hair on my legs stand up, the back of my neck, my arms, dude, they're all fucking goosebumped the fuck out just talking about that.
Yeah. The hair on my arms are kind of standing up. I'm like, ugh,
Yeah.
come on.
I'm sorry I had to tell that story, but man, that I had to tell that one, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty
Because
good.
oh man, like I've encountered some crazy shit. Like there's more. Like you'd think that, oh, he only has a few. Like how many more? Like no, I have a shit ton. I have some that's happened out here too, but give or take, but kind of questionable.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I just want to do this in some kind of chronological order, so eventually we can do some kind of like best of, ghost stories or whatever, and
Yeah,
post them
I
all
get
up.
it. I get it. So yeah, I'm going, the right dates. This was
Yeah.
like well, those two things, though yeah, those two incidents, they happened like right after each other.
Yeah.
You know, the whole looking for the cart, or dude, you know what I was thinking too a while back when that shit happened with the whole cart. I was actually talking to my cousin about it, and I told him about it. He goes, "Yeah, man, remember that fucking the cart?" And he goes, "Yeah, dude, like I remember that fucking incident." He goes, "Remember fucking you and my dad went up to that fucking property and that shit called out my aunt's name?" I'm like, "Yeah, I remember that shit." He goes, "Dude, what if what if that's the daytime form of the fucking guy that carries the heads in that cart?"
Oh.
And I was like, hmm. I was like, fuck you. Fuck you. But man, yeah, that shit creeped me the fuck out.
Yeah.
Are you all
Well,
right?
yeah, I'm good. Should I? Well, because I was wondering, because I want to start to tell the story, my ghost story chronologically. Kind of wonder if I shouldn't just start now because I do have like mini stories, like little stories, but they're all part of like the bigger scene. And
Ooh.
I've actually been trying to see if I can get my sister to either record with us or just like get Discord on her phone or whatever, so she can get into our server and talk about it.
Yeah, that'll be a
Because
good idea.
yeah, because we actually talked about it for about 2 hours straight the other day.
Fuck.
Because she listened to our podcast and she started reminiscing about all that, and she
Hmm.
was like, oh yeah, I remember that picture was insane, and then she was trying to figure out what side of the apartment building was, so she actually somehow found pictures of the old apartment building we lived in, and
Uh-huh.
was and she's got like a Galaxy phone, so she could do the little editing on the fly, like use arrows, like point arrows and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So she kept sending me pictures like, was this it? I'm like, that's the correct apartment building, but it's not the right window. Where like the little girl was floating, whatever, in the air behind the window.
Oh shit.
And so she kept sending me more pictures. She's like, "Is this?" I'm like, "This is the right side. This is the correct side. Like it's facing the right way, but it's not
Uh
the correct side of the building. Like it was still on the back side of the
opposite.
building,
Yeah.
but still pointing towards the same area, which was like the train tracks and stuff." And
Hmm.
so she was like, "Oh, okay, 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 I get it now." Like in between the buildings, because it was like multiple apartment buildings next to each other. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, like in between the buildings, like not like out the back of our building, but it was like facing the in between of all the other apartments." So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we talked about it. We went over a bunch of stuff on it, trying to like remember what she remembers, remember what I remember, and we're kind of able to piece together a lot of the story. So I really wanted to come on because even though I kind of wrote it down while we were doing it, I'm like, man, it'd be good to have her on just because she's such a better storyteller than I am.
Yeah. Sarah, get the fuck
Yeah.
on our podcast, please. Get the fuck on.
Encouragement. Um, but yeah, I want to do that. She said she would agree to, but she doesn't want to do it right now. So I figured, okay, what I could do is maybe tell like the little stories that kind of led up to the stuff that went on around that time. And then what we realized was all that stuff was going on like in the winter. And then the big story we have as a kid took place in the summer when we were on vacation. So it's kind of interesting how we realized, oh yeah, it was like almost the same year. It's like I said, when I was 11 or 12 years old, that's when all this crazy shit started happening. And then so my sister kind of confirmed, like, oh yeah, like in that same year, this happened at these apartment buildings, and then we went on vacation, and then that happened to us while we were on vacation. So
Jesus.
yeah, and then
Yeah, Sarah, please get the fuck on our podcast ASAP.
yeah. So I think I'll just tell like the first little bit. It's not a lot. So
Yeah.
you've heard of like ladies in white, like or ghost in white or whatever, like lady ghost in white. I don't know what
Yeah.
they're
Like in a
called.
white dress or something like that, or a white veil.
Right. It's usually the reason for that ghost or that particular spirit or whatever to show up is because she like lost her children.
Oh,
It's
okay.
always something weird like that. Like it's you
Yeah,
hear
like
about
like
there being
like
a
the
white
like the
ghost and it's
Llorona, right?
like kind of, but it's like it's more like, oh, her kids drowned in this lake, and so now she haunts the lake or whatever, and you only see her in a white dress, and she's crying or she's just staring off into the lake or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's this kind of story right now. But like I said, like all this weird stuff that happened, there's a lot of multiple stories to it. And then, like I said, going back and forth with my sister, we kind of realized we were getting different chunks, but it was still going in like the same timeline. So the first time I ever heard about weird stuff going around in our old apartment when we were kids in
Yeah.
California was one of the little girls that played with my sister saw a lady in white who was glowing inside apartment 14, which should be apartment 13. Remember, our apartment
Hmm.
goes from 12, 14, 15, 16. It skips
Yeah.
13 completely. So it should be apartment 13. It's the same part I said that like anybody who's ever moved in there has always had like terrible, weird, bad stuff happen to them, and they never stay there longer than a couple
And
months, and then they book it
and that's the same guy, right, with the picture. He lived there
with the
from the first
picture.
time you told me. Yeah, I remember the picture that your dad and you looked at, and there's all kinds of
Oh
shit going on from the
no,
first
this is
episode.
this is a different apartment, and in fact,
Oh, okay.
actually, that apartment is right across from apartment 13.
Oh shit.
The way the buildings are set up, because it's almost like a
Yeah.
big L too, and so that apartment looked straight across to the apartment 13. So it's kind of freaky because a lot of stuff happened to the same people that lived in that apartment. Like things kind of swirled around them a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
but the first story I have was one of my sister's little friends saw this lady in white that was glowing inside this apartment, and the apartments faced outwards towards each other. So like there's like a big giant window in the living room, but that living room like faced out towards the other apartments. So it wasn't difficult to like see into an apartment if you had your windows or blinds open or whatever.
Hmm.
So and the kids would play right there, like I think they lived right there, like in the next apartment over or something. And So that girl saw that ghost, and then I can't remember if they came in to tell my sister, and I think they did. They came and told my sister about it, and then they planned to go back over there and like find out what it was, or find out if it wants to play with them, because they weren't sure if it was like a little girl or a woman, but I'm pretty sure it was like a woman because I remember them telling me about that. But then Sarah told me it was something to do about the daughter. Like she saw a different ghost maybe later on that day or maybe even the next day while she was playing with them, and it was like a little girl who was like dressed in white and glowing. And then the kind of weird urban legend around that, especially at those apartments, was that during the 50s and 60s, I guess, that
Yeah.
apartment used to have a pool down on the bottom floor.
Huh.
And since we lived there, the pool has been filled and there's trees growing out of it now. But you can kind of tell that they still have they left like the pool rocks kind of around the perimeter, like that design.
Yeah, like the border. Yeah, the border of the pool, right? Like there's still these weird little, tiles or bricks that they laid around it, right?
Right, and they had like little holes or whatever that's like absorb
Yeah.
water. Yeah, so they had that around it, so you can kind of be like, okay, yeah, I could see that maybe that once was a pool. And so what the story was that supposedly this little girl, the mom said, okay, go ahead, go play with your friends, and she ended up ditching her friends and then jumping into the pool and then drowning in that pool. Yeah, and apparently they lived in that apartment 14, and that's why
Uh,
the lady's there. So that's kind of like the first little bit. That's the kind of first little scary story from that. Like I said, my sister's got a couple more of them, and then I'll tell more about it because we just did more and more dumb shit, and then people just saw more and more freaky stuff, and it was kind of like it was almost like the freaking Goonies. Like it was the big kids
oh
and the little
shit.
kids, and there was no adults involved whatsoever. I don't even think we thought to tell them what was going on. We were just trying to like, okay, these are ghosts. We're gonna find out what they want. We're gonna do everything that we need to do, and we're Ghostbusters. Like it was just I
Yeah.
don't know. It was so dumb. Like a little like it was so like Stranger Things kind of thing where we're just like we all jumped on our bikes and then rode down the street and talked in secret, and then came back and so the ghosts wouldn't hear us and stuff. So, but yeah, that's that first
Fuck.
little part. I don't know. I think next
That's
time if
how.
I tell more, I'll
That's how.
probably
It's.
expand on it.
This is like fucking the Marvel Cinematic Universe now, dude.
Yeah, almost. I
This
mean,
one story adds up to one big story.
it does though, and it's funny because, like I said, talking to my sister, I didn't realize that all took place in like the same year, like from winter to summer almost.
Holy
So I'm like,
shit.
oh man. But yeah, like we just encountered such crazy stuff, and like I said, I'd rather have my sister on so we could tell that part of the story, so we could kind of like because when we were talking to each other on the phone we were just reminding each other like, oh, but this is what your friend said, and she's like, oh yeah, that's right. So I would love to
Damn.
have her on to do it, but if I can't convince her, I'm just gonna like maybe write it out a little better for myself to kind of remember how to tell it.
Hey, dude, I'll give her some weed, man. She'll do
Probably.
it.
Yeah,
She'll
you,
do it.
could you guys exchange numbers or something?
Yeah. Fuck. Imagine like, hey, I got weed. Come get it. But you gotta tell the story.
Yeah, here, speak it to the mic.
Speak. Speak.
Oh, that's what I should have done. I should have just recorded it on my phone. Oh, I didn't think about that.
Mm.
And
No,
just
I
not
actually
tell her.
want her. No, no, no. We have to tell her. We
No,
have
you
to tell her.
don't. No, you
Yes, you
don't.
do. That's your sister, dude.
No. I think she'd be happier not knowing and then be uh
So,
silently outraged when she finds out.
no, but it'll be dope to have her as a guest, dude.
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
That'll be our first guest. If you think about it, like
Probably
our official first
probably
guest.
ever.
Oh, it'll be dope if she did though, because I want to hear that story. I actually want to hear you two tell that story.
Yeah.
I want to stop talking for one episode. Just hear you guys.
Like I said, man, we talked for almost probably about an hour just about the stuff that happened at that apartment.
Oh,
And then
dude,
and it was funny
let's.
because we were talking about how like when when it got to like the weirdness meter was like off the charts, then everything
Yeah,
just died down. Like everybody just stopped talking about it. Nobody cared about it anymore. Nobody like tried to do anything. Everybody was just done with it. And then so like after like a month of just crazy stuff happening, everyone was just like, "Eh, it's okay. Never gonna mention it ever again."
Huh.
Yeah. So that also was kind of creepy because I kind of wonder maybe it was one of those things like you're talking about, like the portals or the wormholes that open up and then they allow the ghost to kind of come back and forth. I wonder if it was something like that, but then somehow that portal was like generating some kind of energy that all the kids were picking up on, Like everybody was super excited about this. Everybody was like really into it. Everybody knew that they were like somewhat in danger, but not enough to like be freaked out about it. And
Yeah.
like I said, it was like the Goonies. Like we were no adults. We were just doing everything, anything or whatever we wanted to do to like try to figure out the truth about all this stuff. So I mean, it was pretty insane.
Huh. Damn.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess that's the
No,
end
there's a,
of podcast number 3. Is this official number 3?
yeah, this is official number 3, man. We're gonna keep going.
All right.
Like
So
P
I
Diddy
mean,
said, can't stop, won't stop.
yeah. I mean, I think we were supposed to talk a little bit more about monsters, but then we mostly started talking about Universal Studios. But
Yeah.
that's okay. So I guess we could do like another like monster episode because I kind of wanted to go more into like the urban legends or ancient legends of like where these monsters originated from and stuff like that because it's pretty
Oh,
interesting
yeah.
too.
So that too, and what I can do is I can look up more on like the origins of like monsters too, because the only ones that came up from the top of my my list is the chupacabra. That was like the most, I guess, most recent one
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
because I
it's
haven't heard
just
of
it's just
anything
weird.
else.
Yeah, because there's not really any other like more modern day monsters unless you consider the Bigfoot and maybe even Loch Ness. But
Hmm.
there's not really any new kind of freaky things out there. Maybe somebody should bring that back.
I know. I'll bring it back.
Yeah,
Watch me, like Justin Timberlake said.
bringing scary back.
Mm. All right, cool. So then, episode 3, locked and loaded, and hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, I didn't because it started creeping me out when I was talking about that fucking snake.
A
It creeped out Jimmy too.
little bit,
But
yeah.
um, but yeah, so that pretty much wraps up this episode. And you got any plugins,
Yeah. Just
social
follow us on
media?
Twitter. Follow us on Twitter and Bunk Buddy Theories or at Bunk_Buddy. And my sister said she wants to help us out on making the Instagram. So like if we I guess tell her ahead of time or she'll like listen to the podcast and then find pictures and post pictures up for us. Or like
Ah,
all the
okay.
pictures like you sent me in Discord, I
Yeah,
can
pretty much what we
send it to
mentioned.
her.
Yeah, that way they get an idea.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool, cool.
Which I
All right,
kind
man.
of I
And
kind of did that with the Twitter too, but I mean, I guess it's good to have multiple social media
so,
outlets.
yeah, pretty soon Facebook, and then maybe a YouTube. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
we'll
like to do
see.
that. It just depends how we want to do it. Like
Yeah,
if we're gonna get webcams and talk to each other, or if we're just gonna like make a YouTube video and then just put pictures on there so people can understand like what we're talking about as we're talking about it.
yeah. That'd be pretty cool. The webcam do those like special episodes
Yeah, there's gonna be
where we
super
have
special
like,
episodes,
yeah, super special.
Like Christmas episodes.
Damn, what about a Halloween episode?
That might be too scary.
I know. I'm gonna stop right there. I don't want to see that snake. Yeah,
Every
fuck
time
that
I
snake.
close my eyes, I see the snakes.
Every time I close my eyes, my uncle comes in the room.
Aye.
Ay, never mind. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and follow us on Twitter, whatever fucking Jimmy said, and there'll be more to come, and hopefully we get your sister uh, to do the next one with us, or whichever
Yeah,
one down the road, because I
yeah, I
want to
think
hear
it'd be
that
awesome.
story.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
that's pretty much like the Marvel universe, but in the Masal universe.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty dope. So, all right, once again, thank you guys for listening, and yeah, that's it.
All right. Peace out. All right. Peace.